DOdaily, it's Des here. Who's ready for some Monday motivation and to attack a brand new week? Definitely am. I'm in great spirits today, feeling really positive. We had a fantastic weekend, we had some good news this morning. It seems in the last few weeks, me and Kay have had a few personal issues to deal with, and every week started with a bit of bad news, but today we've got some really good news. We've managed to find a place local to where we are, and it's really important for us that, you know, we do a lot of work with the community and in the local area, you know, so it was important for us to find something. And with what's been happening, it's been really stressful, you know, the pandemic, and trying to find somewhere in this situation, you know, it's not easy. So it's fantastic to have something almost sealed, signed and sealed, just waiting for that 100% confirmation, but really looking forward to being able to move into a bigger place, but somewhere where we can make the most of and be really positive about, take things forward. Do you know, the work we do, we can work from home and we'll have a lot more space to do it, so that's a real positive for us. But that all comes up after a fantastic weekend, like I say, you know. And part of the reason I am where I am today, I was hoping to actually get the river in the background. I'm out by Trent Bridge. It's the centre point of everything that's important to us. But part of the reason is because this weekend we've had an amazing event on the Victoria Embankment. It should have been the Robin Hood weekend, so what we tried to do, so all that brilliant training didn't go to waste, we tried to put on an event for local people to get involved. Ironically, we got 40, which is convenient, being it was supposed to be the 40th staging of the event. Unfortunately, that couldn't go ahead due to COVID, but we managed to find a way, you know, socially distanced, ran the route, you know, and it was done so in such great spirit. Lots of people from different organisations pulling together, doing the 13.1 miles, being great inspirations, and also raising a few quid for a fantastic local charity, Improving Lives Nottingham, who work with vulnerable adults and deal with mental health issues in that sense. So it was a real good thing for us to do, you know. Despite all the things that have been happening to us personally, you know, organising this over the last couple of weeks has kept us really focused, kept us really positive, you know. I put on a social media post, it's really stressful that last couple of weeks, that last couple of days in the build up to an event, but it was really important for us to sort of push through it, you know. And of course, we had all the changes in the legislation and the guidelines causing a problem. I had to sort of rethink the idea a couple of times, but we delivered on the day, you know. The guys seemed to enjoy it, and it, like I say, providing great inspiration. Two of the guys in particular ran the route for the 40th time. They've run every single event in its 40 years, apart from this year, of course. They ran with us, so that was brilliant, that was fantastic. And last week I mentioned consistency, and that's just a classic example of it, isn't it? You know, two guys running every event. I'm sure they won't mind me saying they're getting on a little bit in age now, but they're still putting themselves out there, keeping that focus, keeping that drive, enjoying what they do, being really passionate. I was lucky enough to get a chance to speak to them, and they were really passionate about what they were doing and running, and as passionate now as they were 40 years ago, and that was fantastic to see. I hope I'm like that in another 35, 40 years. You know, I've been running now for 5 years, and if I still share that passion and I can still do it to the capabilities they are, then that would be absolutely fantastic. But what I think is really important, and I think this could be the sort of theme this week on DOdaily, is almost accepting change as well. You know, it's important to be really consistent and focused and driven to do all the things, you know, get into sort of good routines and good habits. But what we also need to do is embrace that change, and that's what they did by getting involved in the event. You know, they accepted that it wasn't on in its normal sort of euphoric, big occasion, amazing crowds. You know, it's a brilliant race to be part of. Before I go any further, you know, do sign up for it next year. Really it's my favourite. It was my first half marathon. But what I was saying there was they accepted that change. They did it in a different format. whilst the race, do running events put on was not part of Robin Hood, we tried to sort of recreate that half marathon experience, a goodie bag, you know, one or two other things, but these guys really took that on board, really got involved, and like I say, completed it superbly well. And it just made me think a little bit about being consistent and doing all these things, and then sort of how we deal with change. And to be honest, I think as we grow up a little bit, and I was using myself as an example, we kind of get to a point in our lives where we think we kind of know best. As children, we tend to we're really adaptable. We really accept what we're told to do, and move in school, move in house, you know, all these things. Kids taking the stride, you know, and I used to do that. Of course, you've not got any worries or any cares, but I think it's really important to sort of remember, like, as we grow older, we get a little bit stubborn. You know, we think we know best. Of course, we're there to sort of fend for ourselves and think about what we're doing. But I think it's really dangerous if people genuinely believe that they've cracked it. You know, if you feel you don't need to change, and then that's quite a dangerous position to be in. Whilst of course I talk a lot about that consistency and routines and doing similar things. You know, we have to embrace what's happening, you know, and keep improving. I've said it lots of times on Monday Motivation. I said it lots of times on DOdaily. In the main, a couple of years ago, I had to take a good long look in the mirror and decide where I was going to go and how I was going to attack it. And I'm doing things now I never dreamt of doing. You know, I'm trying to sort of pass on advice and tips. I've spoke from day one about feeling a little bit like an imposter, but I'm trying to change. I'm trying to make positive change for me. You know, getting out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I think that's the worrying bit for a lot of people. But as soon as you do it, believe me, I seem to do it every day at the moment. As soon as you do it, there's like a weight off your shoulders. You start feeling great about what you've done. You realise that you can do even more. And whilst I've got a long way to go, you know, it feels fantastic to feel that constantly. It's an achievement every day, and that's what it feels like. You know, I'm getting into sort of coaching and speaking and trying to motivate and inspire people and all these things. Every time I do it, I'm slightly uncomfortable, but I keep going. And when I see guys like the two guys I mentioned before, it gives me that extra determination to keep going. Understand that we need to be a little bit resilient, you know, when things are difficult, when things are tough, you know, just stick to that routine. If we have to make a change, you know, make the change and come out the other side, and we'll all be better for it. You know, it's really important. And like I say, watching those guys do that had a real impact on me yesterday. Before yesterday, I actually went out and ran as well. I ran the half marathon in preparation, so that put me in great spirits ahead of the event. You know, being able to organise something that people got lots of enjoyment out of is really important to me. You know, I love to sort of please people. I'm not embarrassed to say that. I don't feel any different by saying that. But then seeing somebody like that, two people like that, you know, and everybody who took part, everybody does these things with their own sort of goals and targets and aspirations to run, walk or cycle 13.1 miles, you know. So it's really important that everybody gets enjoyment, and seeing that has made it a fantastic weekend. And I just wanted to sort of pass that message on today. Do you know, that's what we're about here. I'm just trying to be a bit of a safe space, do you know, somebody who I'd like to think is quite normal, do you know, who lives the experiences everybody else does through life. I'm not trying to sort of teach you to suck eggs or tell you that this is right or wrong. Just a safe space, just to enjoy listening to somebody who deals with everyday issues, and sometimes bad, sometimes good. You know, I've spent a couple of weeks of trying to be positive through the tough times, and it just, like I said before, it's just starting to sort itself out. And that's what happens, isn't it? If we show that bit of resilience, if we show that bit of consistency and a bit of courage to make change, then then things always sort of come out in the wash, and that's what's happening now. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the week develops. Of course, every Monday I'll give you a quick run through of what we've got. So this week, tomorrow, if you can't get out for a walk now, which you really should, the sun's come out. If you're locally, hopefully it is where you are, but it was a bit of a cold weekend. That was the only slight disappointment on the event, but it's really warm now. It's a nice late summer's day. So if you can get out there, get out for your activity. Of course, them new restrictions have come in today, but throughout all of this, and one of the reasons we're here to encourage activity is the fact that's been available to us, whatever the situation's been. It's so important to stay active and healthy, you know, whilst you need to keep your distance, whilst you can't mix in larger groups again, you know, it's really important to get some activity in. So I've been for a walk, you know, I've had a coffee, you know, and sat and looked out over the river, which has been fantastic. You know, just a bit of time today after the chaos of the weekend, but I know it's coming again, so I just took that time. So get out there, make sure you do. But if you can't, I always say never miss a Monday, but if you really can't, join us tomorrow for the City Slickers Solidarity session. Really looking forward to that again, getting back into that routine again. You know, the guys all do some sort of activity virtually, of course, in our own space, but at the time of 6:30, and then we post the pictures in to all the social media. The links will be on the end of the video. Absolutely fantastic session. Hopefully through the event in the coming weeks, we'll have encouraged other guys to join us as well. Wednesday will be Wednesday workout. It was an absolute belter last week. You know, it was the pick a card. People had to sort of do the distance to match up with the card they picked out. We managed to cover 100 miles as a group. Absolutely fantastic. So I'll be thinking of that in the next day or two, and I'll be posting that in the social media. And of course, Thursday thoughts. Last week I asked you to post up your end of year goals, you know, and I said I'll be thinking of one for myself. So that's what I'm going to try and do, is work at getting this. I used to run, I was very proud at one point to run sub 2 hour half marathons, and I'm going to set myself a little goal of running another one before the end of the year. I managed 2:08 this weekend. I mentioned my injury and illness last year, so I've been really off form, really not feeling it. So a little target is to lose 1 stone and then have another real go at a half marathon, see if I can sort of get back to that 2 hour mark, you know, and see some real progress. And that's my sort of Monday motivation today. But I asked that question, so keep posting those in for Thursday thoughts. Keep your questions coming. Absolutely love the live session. Really enjoyed getting to do that, you know. It's fantastic just hearing like the different bits, what people are doing. It definitely inspires me. It inspires content as well, you know. It gives me something to talk about, which is always good to have when I'm a little short on ideas. And then of course it'll be wake up to walk on Friday. I'll be looking to get somewhere different again. Last week I wanted to stay local because I didn't know how long I'd be in the area, but thank God I can stay in this amazing location, somewhere that inspires me every day. Got the river there, you know, something really calming about water. We've got the iconic Trent Bridge to my left, and just to my right there we've got the world famous City Ground, somewhere where I spend so much time. Well, I'd love to spend so much more time, and that day will come again. So that's what's coming up this week. And then there'll be a Saturday selfie, of course. You know, we always finish with a Saturday selfie where I ask you to sort of post in your pics. Might be a theme to it, might not, you know. I tried to take something from the walk on a Friday as inspiration for what can sort of get us out and looking at doing different things and forgetting about the activity. And that's one of the key things, isn't it? Consistency of keep doing it, but sometimes you just need to take your mind away. It's not always easy. I've mentioned there about my sort of struggles in terms of pace and time, and whilst it's not all about that for me, you know, it is important. You know, I want to see progress. I want to set myself goals. I want to sort of keep being able to do this, like the two guys, you know, consistency and courage to accept change. I think that's the important message today, guys. You know, until that solidarity session, I'll be changing this event t-shirt for for the yellow one. That's what we tend to do on a Tuesday. So if you've got any yellow t-shirt, get that on. You never know, you just might see somebody out there and just be able to wave to them. Let's keep encouraging people. Let's have a fantastic week. Really looking forward to bringing you DOdaily. So for now, just doing it.